We're live. Welcome to CENTERCOURT Weekly. I'm CENTERCOURT, not your host. The host is across the way, not saying anything. Thanks for being here.
You have a sponsor?
Yeah. The sponsor is Empire Electric, and Empire Electric's the best. Tony Pulvereni.
You're doing a good job so far. Keep
Thank
going.
you.
Keep going.
Thank you. We're here to talk high school basketball.
And nothing else.
Nothing
Don't bring
else.
up anything else.
Not talking about food or my random stops at places or anything. It's a high school basketball show. That's why people are watching, because they like high school basketball and trying to find something wrong with what I have to say about it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So here we go. What do you got for me, Frank?
Well,
Welcome.
not a whole. I don't bring much to the show. Obviously, not the eye.
You brought
not
it
the eye
last
candy.
week. I got lots of good feedback last week. Yeah.
Okay. About the co-host.
The show was good. Yeah, that the co-host was bringing good questions, that we were staying on track, and
People actually watched the show and said this.
there's a handful that do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was
Perrier's a sponsor.
it was
I haven't gotten to the Perriers yet.
no. What was that over under last week? We said 7?
3 a day. Never changes.
Okay.
3 in my car right now.
No more during the classic though.
No.
Okay, I got to talk into this freaking thing. Anyways, glad to have you
Thank you.
back in West New York Athletics Studios for the CENTERCOURT Weekly Show.
Glad to be back.
You guys did a great job. Your wife and
And
family, everybody from St. Joe's that was involved with the classic, your staff.
Yeah.
You guys did a really good job Friday and Saturday. The games were fantastic. I saw the Joe's Jamestown game. I saw the game before that. Who was before that? Who kicked things off?
Akron and St. Francis.
So I saw the end of that one, and Akron
Yes.
played their hearts out.
They did.
That dude was
Akron's the reason we do the CENTERCOURT Classic. I was proud of the way they performed. I called their coach and told him as much. I said it meant a lot to me that your boys showed up and played like being in that event meant something to them, and they were there to win or lose, play their tails off. And that's what they did. They had this energy in the hallway at 5:30 that day, and I thought, I think Akron might win this game. I said to you on the show that day, Akron won't win tonight. St. Francis will win, but I want to see XYZ from Akron. I saw XYZ plus Q, and they won by double figures. Blake Gerstong started popping threes. Darren Brooks, the big man, showed what he has. The team as a whole showed what they have. Braden Lamont, tough little point guard for Akron. Nice performance by the Tigers.
You know what? What impressed me most about Akron? They came back Saturday.
Yeah, they came
that was
back and
cool.
watched.
That was
They played an event over at I think NCCC against
There was
teams from
Orleans.
yeah, it was like a crossover with Section 5.
So that was
That's
pretty.
region.
That tells you that you're doing something right.
That I had players that
Yeah.
or teams that they were interested in showing up to watch, but that's another part of the classic is just putting a matchup together, or teams getting Randolph and Westfield up there like they did, to show Buffalo what they got, which they did, absolutely the best game of the whole event, most competitive.
There were teams there that weren't even playing, watching Friday and Saturday, which
Yeah.
I thought was also pretty cool.
It was cool.
Not full teams, but number of kids representing different teams.
You know what was
From
really
all over.
nice to see was the support that some of the players from other schools gave players in the game. I think it was a whole AAU following of teammates of Carson Swanson from
Yep.
a couple different schools that were sitting there front row, and they formed a great cheering section. It was just really neat to watch. Then for Randolph had kids from, I know Panama. I feel like I'm missing a couple other schools that came up in support, but there was kids from Panama there cheering on Randolph.
You see the dude in the West New York Athletics sweatshirt?
No,
Alex Barmore.
Alex Barmore was
Showed up
that's
with a
Panama kid.
WNY Athletics sweatshirt. I thought that was awesome.
That is awesome. That's a class move by Alex Barmore.
Yeah, yes it is.
Support that brand.
So, and the Day Sisters were there from North Tonawanda.
Were they?
Yes.
Never met them. Didn't know they were there.
Sitting
That's cool.
front row where the Rowdies normally sit.
All right.
I seen them there Saturday. I don't remember seeing them Friday, but I saw them there Saturday.
Hey, anybody that came to that event, thank you. Thank you for coming out, supporting it, being part of it.
So
It means a lot.
we're recapping the Classic right now. You had said heading into it, one of the premier matchups of the event was going to be Westfield taking on Randolph,
Yes.
and it was.
1 and 2 in the state. Both teams brought the best crowd, brought the most energy, the most competitive game. Westfield gets out of there with a win. It was a back and forth game. Lead changes even in the fourth quarter. Where I think Westfield got a bucket in the final minute to put them in front. Got a stop, added to the lead. Game over.
Randolph had a shot at the end.
Randolph totally had a shot. And, they went in with differing game plans. Randolph wanted to double everything Carson was doing and did a good job of it and held his point total down. Now, he picked up 9 assists in the game, still had 17 points, a nice breakaway dunk, banged a nice 3 in the first quarter that just gives the team a little momentum. It's a low-scoring game, so every bucket counts in a game like that. And it's not low-scoring because no one can play offense. It's low-scoring because it's an intense defensive type of game. Who knows what happens in March, because those two teams are definitely on a collision course to meet again, unless a team like Holland got in the way of that, Global Concepts. But they certainly project to be meeting again in a final.
Slow start for both teams, if you remember. Even Swanson didn't get going until I think he hit a three-pointer, came back the other way with a dunk, and then it was on. And then he was on. But it took him a while, maybe the first 5 minutes, to get those. I think he was a little nervous, honestly. I thought all of them were. Even Hind wasn't sharp early on in that game. I think they were all a little nervous.
Well, from what I remember, Swanson had Griffin Nelson, who's one of the best defensive players, period, just dripped all over him. And then every time he would dribble and someone else would come up, they weren't giving him anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then conversely, Westfield said, we're going to live with some buckets from Drew Hind today. We can't let those corner threes start flying. And they did an excellent job of defending the corner three. And Drew Hind did an excellent job of showing, hey, I am such an efficient basketball player. I can dribble myself to the high post and knock down shots effortlessly. I can facilitate. And he doesn't get frustrated with how it's going. Really good basketball to see. Last thing I want to say about that game, and unless you got more questions, is you hear from, I'll leave the coach unnamed, but there's a Monsignor Martin coach there. Pretty good one, watching that game. And his feedback after the game was, those are two terrific players. Those are two well-coached teams. They played hard. That was fun. But you can see a lot in those two players. I see why you have given them so much attention. Either one of those players would be playing for that team.
I do like the supporting cast, too. As good as they are, and they're good, they have good supporting cast around them.
They absolutely have
very well-coached teams.
That's it more than anything, is the coaching is so good for those teams, and the players want to play so well around the standouts that are there that you are getting blood out of a stone almost. Like, where does Randolph have the same athletes that Timon does? No, they don't. Not the same athleticism, but these kids are giving you everything that they got. They are coached to the T, and they play to the T. They're making good decisions. It's cool to see.
It's a rivalry, if you ask me. Those teams play like they have a rivalry going. At one point, because I was sitting behind Mel Swanson, he got up and said something to somebody on his team about keep him quiet or something along those lines. Not exactly what he said. I'm not repeating it here, but he said something from the bench. Someone from Randolph got him going. And once he got going, the team got going.
Yeah.
It was somewhere in the early part of the second quarter, I believe. But my son, who was with me, even looked at me. He's like, can you say that? I'm like, you can say whatever you want when you're Mel Swanson. You can say whatever the hell you want.
Well, imagine the intensity anyway. You're 1-2 in the state. But then to sugar it even more, you've got 1-2 in the state. The head coach is the father of the standouts, the two returning all-state players. First-team all-state players in a game. Their fathers are the head coach. They're ranked 1 and 2 in the state. I can't imagine having a kid that's that good and being his head coach. There's the drama and stress of coaching and the intensity of it. Then you add to it, hey, my son is the standout all-state player for this team. Whew.
And there's another one coming.
Removing the emotion out of a situation is helpful. I don't know how you do it sometimes.
There's another one coming.
Another
freshman.
Swanson. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another Swanson.
He's got.
There's always another Hind and another Swanson.
You know,
huh?
they just come out of left field. But anyways, it was a fantastic classic. Health Sciences Canisius game got off to a good start. I love watching Ty Harper coach. I absolutely love it. He is
Ty
so
Parker,
funny.
The wizard.
He doesn't think it's funny when he's coaching.
No,
His manner
he didn't
is-
think it was funny after the game either. I'm clearing out of St. Joe's, and I walk by their locker room, and I said, "Okay, Ty, give it to him. Let him know. Let him know that practice isn't translating." And
They were making mental mistakes more than anything. Health in that game, they made a lot of mental mistakes more than anything. Giving kids extra shots, technical, things like that. There were some mental breakdowns, but that team, once they get to playoffs, I think is going to flip a switch. But Ty will have them ready.
Yeah,
You're going to see a different team, I think.
Jump back to that Friday night game, the game 2. Jamestown comes in to play St. Joe's. Jamestown is regarded rankings-wise, and has been by myself all year, as at least the second best public school in Western New York. And we'll find out. They should be playing Niagara Falls at the end of the year. Falls is the highest-ranked public school. Joe's beat them by 20, and I expected a little closer score, but what I wasn't expecting was Joe's to game plan or play the way offensively that they did. Their defense was blistering all game, but they started playing a little more through Nate.
Yeah,
big smooth Nate got him established in the post, looked to him a little more, and that carried into their win over Timon on Tuesday night. And there's so much going on there, but you've got a gift in Nate, and so I think that there's just no answer for Nate that Jamestown had inside. He ended up with a career-high 32 with 16 rebounds.
So the shuffling may be, if there is shuffling on your large school rankings, you got Joe's up there, followed by the Falls, Timon, Canisius, Jamestown.
Yes.
Any slack from anybody outsiders tweeting at you about that?
No.
Balls are
That doesn't mean they don't think of it. And yeah, it's whatever.
Small schools, Sally out of B2, Salamanca 1, Westfield 2, Randolph 3, Panama, and then Akron.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at common results, seeing teams that Salamanca and Westfield have played, or even teams that Randolph and Salamanca played, once Westfield knocked off Randolph, I thought the smart move was to leave Westfield 2, but bring Salamanca ahead of them. We'll never really get that answer at the end of the year. Salamanca could get knocked out of B, and Westfield could win C, and ultimately change my mind and put them back to 1. But for now, I moved Salamanca to 1, Westfield 2, Randolph 3. And a lot of people have been voting Salamanca 1 all year, maybe rightfully so.
Okay, Grand Island.
Yeah.
Bit of a tough stretch as of late. Maybe they did have the loss to Kenmore West.
Yes.
Where do you see them right now? Is that Ken West loss a good loss for them?
It would have been a nice win for them to get. It's what I see at Ken West is there's an inconsistency sometimes to Ken West basketball. And when Ken West is on, like this is the same team that played a 3-point game with Lockport. When Ken West is on, they're tough. They're really good. Problem with Ken West is they're inconsistent, and they have the ability to turn around and have a head-scratching result with a game. And that's it. But so I knew that was a big game for Grand Island, and Ken West got them. I think it was at Ken West.
Well, where I'm going with that is, for Grand Island, did they need that loss to get better?
Well, that loss kicked a hornet's nest because look what they did to Newport after that.
That's where I'm going with that.
Trounced Newport, and that was a team that they won by 20 in round 1, and they buried them.
Okay.
So I think it did. I think a team like Grand Island, who has played a pretty wimpy non-league schedule for the most part, and is feeling pretty good about themselves, especially after knocking off Lockport in a game where Mike Griffin had to leave the game in the second quarter and wasn't able to return. Mike Griffin's averaging almost 17 points a game for Lockport. So that was a significant part of that game, but I don't ever like to make it about that because I don't want to take anything away from Grand Island winning that game. So
Yep.
for me, I don't need to qualify Lockport's loss as well, Mike, but they didn't have Mike Griffin for the second half. Things happen. Kids are ineligible. Kids get hurt. Kids get sick. I don't want to take away from Grand Island's win, but they were feeling good about themselves, and they deserved to. It was a big win at Lockport in the Lions' Den. They're undefeated. They just hadn't had a lot of challenges yet, and I can see how you go into Ken West and you find a game opponent in Ken West, and Ken West brings the noise to them a little bit, and they can't overcome it. They lose the game at the end. It's probably a good thing for Grand Island.
Yeah.
The bad thing for Grand Island is you've got teams like Amherst and Williamsville South in your sectional bracket, and neither one of them are a joke. They're very good teams.
No.
So
You're going to have to play.
It's going to be a fun little A1 tournament.
Can you read what's on this paper? Neither can I. I printed this up earlier with standings, so I didn't have to look at it on the screen here in case I had a problem with my laptop. I can't freaking read this.
Can you read it with readers? I've got readers in my bag.
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do that, but I mean, I see the word Monsignor Martin. I could somewhat make it out. I wanted to go through some of these classes and all right, try reading on there. There's nothing confidential on there.
No, I can't read that.
Yeah, forget about it.
Look at this. Look at this font.
What the hell prints this crap?
Hey, is this a Tim Gardner production over here?
Anyways, what I want to do is go to a quick commercial break, come back, and talk a little bit more basketball with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm here.
It's a basketball show.
I'm in it to win it.
You're watching Center Court Weekly with Chad and Frank, sponsored by Empire Electric. We'll be back after word from our sponsors.
Need an electrician? Empire Electric is your residential wiring specialist. New builds, service upgrades, lighting, generators, you name it, Empire does it with hundreds of 5-star reviews that speak for themselves. Call Empire Electric today for your free estimate.
Education has power. Binghamton University students discover it, apply it, unleash it. Unleash your education today.
Is it?
We're back. We're live.
Okay, it's Chad. All right.
Center Court.
All right. Fine. Oh, it's my cue to talk?
I guess so.
Frank Wolf here of WNY Athletics, sitting with my good buddy Chad Andrews of Center Court. We're talking basketball. You said there was over 200 people watching. I call BS. On a Friday at 1:30?
Let's go. We're developing an audience.
Oh, shit. Shoot. Let's keep this going. Listen, Center Court Classic. You did a fabulous job with it. Again, we talked that Randolph-Frewsburg was the game to watch. Was there a game or a team that stood up that really impressed you? Who was the player that really captured your attention that maybe you hadn't expected to? Was there a player out there or even a team that showed more? Or if you want to tell me there's a team you were disappointed in, you could do that too.
No. I mean, I already touched on Akron. Akron was a standout in the energy that they brought as a team. I touched on Nate's performance. Yep. That was a standout. Goosby's dunk was pretty awesome, one of the best I've seen all year.
Is that the first quarter dunk?
No, that was late.
The late one?
I think it was late. I think it was fourth quarter dunk, maybe third. Second half for sure because it was in their end. Williamsville South just really played well against Nichols. It was not as close of a game as I anticipated. A lot of the results were not as ultimately competitive. I think the matchups were good, but Niagara Falls really defended at the Classic, and that was the difference in them handling Lockport for the most part.
Okay. My question about that, is that the style of basketball Niagara Falls wanted to come out and play at the Classic?
It sure seemed like it.
For a future game?
You could tell right away that defending was their emphasis that game. That they thought that they could take Lockport out of what they were doing just by suffocating them.
Okay. They didn't do that in the first round.
They didn't play them before.
I thought that was their second meeting.
No. It was.
Okay. Do they have?
They're not in the same league, so
They don't
there's
have to.
one non-league game this year, and that was
Okay.
at the Classic.
I may be confusing them with Jamestown, which is easy to do.
Sure.
especially
Lockport
if you
played Jamestown earlier, lost by 4.
don't- Okay. What did you make of the Jamestown Joe's contest overall? Like, what's the main takeaway there for Jamestown?
The main takeaway for Jamestown is you ran into a team that is a little more talented than you with an exceptional mismatch in the post. I don't know what Jamestown was supposed to do to win that game. I really don't. It's more a matter of St. Joe's is so talented that if they are at their best, I don't know who's beating them.
Wow.
But the chess match then is taking them out of being their best.
Yeah.
But I'm not a basketball coach, so that's really, I'm sure Billy Miley's banging his fist on the table right now, saying, "If we would have done this, it would have been different." You dope. Maybe so. It's about taking teams out of what they do really good. If this is Salamanca at their best, how do we stop Salamanca from being their best? If this is Joe's at their best, what do we got to do? Westfield said Randolph at their best is popping threes from all over the place. We've got to try and take that away from them. St. Joe's just has, there's so much talent on that team. Chemistry,
Yeah.
and the chemistry is coming along. I mean, Nate really is a problem. There's not a lot of guys that can handle him. Good news for Canisius is they've got one. They've got a Pat Enright, who is a pretty big, strong kid.
Didn't get to play Saturday.
Didn't get to play Saturday. So that could lend itself well to them, but
Do we have
I don't even know if that's going to happen.
Do we have an
They've got a
update on
rematch,
Pat?
but who knows what happens in the playoffs.
Do we have an update on Mr. Enright at all?
I don't know. I don't bother the coaches too much about that stuff. I'm happy to just go and watch who's playing just to get a general. I mean, Pat's not going to miss the season. He'll be
That's
back
one-
at some
that's-
point, but he's dealing with a lingering shoulder thing that bothered him a little bit in football too, and he wants to be a part of this team to the end, and he's going to be. I think if I'm Canisius, my mindset is we're going to need him at the end. Let's not keep aggravating this too much right now.
Yep.
Let's keep him working out, keep him healthy.
They won somewhat convincingly Saturday without him.
Yeah.
You know, one thing you don't do, you will tweet maybe where you're going, but you'll never tweet about who's necessarily playing, who you're going to look at, who you want to see from a player perspective. It's always about the game, but you never, like you would have never tweeted out that I'm going to Canisius, too bad so-and-so isn't playing tonight.
Correct.
You don't do that stuff.
No.
What did you think you had enough media coverage of your event
Yes.
Friday, Saturday? You were happy with it? Harry was there. I saw him Friday.
Yeah, the Buffalo News
Yep.
came, and
Friday, Saturday. Clevis was there.
Levis wrote up a couple games.
Kimberg came up from Olean or Jamestown.
Scott Kimberg came up. Yeah.
Good.
It's not, it's I'm not looking for so much the media coverage. I appreciate it. I appreciate the media letting everyone know it's coming. When the news has had me on in the past, like I've been on Channel 4, they've invited me in to talk about it. That stuff means a lot. Jerry Sullivan was there last year. You sent him over, and he wrote a really nice article on it. Jonah Bronstein's always been pretty good to me with his coverage of that event.
Yeah.
It means as much to me just to have the coaches give up the game and come to the event and trust that I'll give them a good matchup and have people in the stands to watch it, because I think it's nice. Like, there's nothing better than Buff State Week. And people say, when are you going to move this to an arena? My event doesn't deserve an arena. We're not that big. It's a nice high school venue. It's a nice regular season venue. You jump to Buff State, that's the whole next mecca. I just want mine to be the regular season sugar.
Yeah. And again, you can't really control weather. So let's say you do play at a location like Buff State, all those seats, and you've got yourself a blizzard outside. It's going to look ridiculous on.
Yeah, and I don't want
The
that.
casual.
I want more atmosphere.
Of course. And you had that, especially Saturday. I still can't get over how many people came up from the southern tier to check out Westfield and Randolph. That gym was
Were you
filled.
there when that game started?
Oh, yeah.
So you heard me basically thank the crowd and point that out to them before the game.
It was nice.
And that was just ad lib. It's I go to start the game and I'm just looking over and I'm seeing
I was
them
actually
all, and
sitting
they
right
just
next to you.
naturally separated themselves. There's Randolph on one side, Westfield on the other. There was no signs or anything. Literally at the center court line, the fans divided themselves. And there was so much energy in the gym, and I was moved by it. And I wanted to tell people, thank you. This is awesome.
You did a good job. Time in St. Joe's, you were there Tuesday. Getting away from the Classic into this past week.
All right.
Games you were at. What happened time in St. Joe's? I heard there was a little bit of an incident. Do we get into it or not?
Sure. The incidents, yeah. I mean, I saw another one on a live stream the night before, at the end of a game after the game was all over. It's that classic thing where two kids are a little close and, one kind of, all right, a little free. They're, too much talking, too much energy and juice in that moment, and emotions take over, and one kid pushes hard. Where it got yuck is someone from the crowd stands up and comes onto the court, and
which is a no you can't ever do.
You can't even come on the court if you're on the bench, because that's an immediate ejection. So it's kids. It's kids being kids.
Yep.
And what I said, because I was broadcasting that game, I don't like it when it happens. I mean, you can hear my voice in that broadcast. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Oh, that's it. As soon as the pushes happen, I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But emotional kids can often check that emotion pretty quick, especially when the coach calls them back over the bench and says, knock it off, shake hands, we got a game to win, and they'll, okay, gotcha, cool, let's go. Once adults get involved and come out and it starts to feel heavier, like, whoa, are we about to have like a brawl in the stands? That gets a little nerve-wracking for people. It's just not what the high school experience is about, or really sports is supposed to be about. So I'm a pretty, I think, cooler head kind of guy in general anyway in my life, but
things happen during the course of a game.
They do.
And you
They do.
Listen,
and great kids make bad decisions, especially in the moment, with emotion. I would just say to adults, any kids that are listening, anybody, if you start with more respect or less me, then a lot of those incidents could be avoided. And what I mean by that is, you hit a big three-pointer, resist that urge to look at the guy who was defending you and be like, yeah, and I know that the trash talking is part of it, but it doesn't make somebody feel good to have you taunt, gloat, and then they want to, and it dials all that up. So follow that Barry Sanders model, bust off an 80-yard run and hand the ball to the referee and get back in the huddle. Keep your head down. We see you.
What I was going at was, Canisius Joe's is obviously must-watch TV.
Yes.
Time in
Valentine's
Canisius,
Day special.
Time in Joe's has gotten to that point where it's must-watch TV.
Time in Joe's is fun.
Absolutely.
Because Timon, if there's a team that can just match offensive arsenal with St. Joe's, it is Timon. And they are a fun, and so is the one I'm going to watch tonight.
And let's talk about that.
Canisius and Timon. Big one tonight.
Yeah.
Big one.
So, walking into that atmosphere tonight.
Can't wait. It's so great.
Where do you stop?
Where do I stop before?
Yeah.
Curry's.
Okay.
Friday.
All right. But you're not even near Joe's.
No, it's just a Friday thing. Yeah. And I don't even go near Joe's when I do it. I mean, I know they're right across the street, but it's not like, well, I'm on Kenmore.
All right.
Hey,
I
Brian.
thought you might stop somewhere.
Just stopped by to say hi. I don't do that, although I am swinging in today to pick up George Benson's cooler. Because George Benson,
George
my
got
buddy,
her.
George, the patron saint of high school basketball fans, this man brought a cooler full of ice and Gatorade that he wanted left in the officials' room so that the officials would have Gatorade during the event. And he had a bag of candy for him. So my job is just to get George's cooler back and drop it in his trunk tonight when I get to Timon, because he'll be there before me and he'll be sitting in the front row, and I'm going to let him know I'm about to come down McKinley Parkway. He's going to pop the trunk open, and the deal is done.
Anybody that's heading out to that game, if you stop at Minneo's South Pizza and mention WNY Athletics, you will get $1 off your pizza or your order tonight.
How about that? Say
Minneos
it again.
South.
Minneos South. West New
Stop
York
in there.
Athletics. Buck off your slice.
Say hello to Matt Franco
pie.
for me, good friend, and he will take $1 off your order tonight just by mentioning Western New York Athletics.
That's awesome.
You got to go to the Time and Canisius game, too. You should go. What else would you do in South Buffalo tonight?
I mean,
Then what?
you made the producer laugh.
I'll tell you something.
Oh, and not for TV, huh? This show you could get away with it.
So the atmosphere, you were asking about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's an energy inside
It's
that
different.
auditorium.
It's-
I mean, you see it. I think you probably can just tell that I'm always excited to go to Timon. I like it there.
I love it.
It's
I love
just-
it.
It's just a different experience.
We
Cool.
gotta
It's unique.
they won't let us, but we got to get Ethernet in there to stream a game.
Well, good luck with all the angles too. It's
We'll
a
get
tough
'em.
one to cover.
We'll get them. We'll figure it out. But that is
Tell you what, Matt Weiser would probably work with you if you said, "Listen, I don't want to take anything away from what you guys are doing. I just want to be able to highlight this place at Timon once."
I can't be there tonight. I'm going down to do a doubleheader, Dunkirk Fredonia tonight, rivalry match.
That'd be fun.
In the Dunkirk gym, it'll be free on Western New York Athletics because Dunkirk is actually paying for it. They paid the copyright to the section, so we're able to stream the varsity, and we're going to do the JV game tonight.
Two good teams.
Yes.
Big
Pretty good teams.
rivalry.
Fredonia's good. Dunkirk's clawing their way.
Dunkirk.
Work in
can-
progress.
They can show a little of the Ken West I was talking about. They can be up and down sometimes. When they're up, they're good. Fredonia's pretty good.
I like Nick Bertrando. I like the Putney kid. They've got some pieces there. I really like Gaines, though, from Dunkirk. Or no, I'm sorry. Yes, I like Gaines from Dunkirk. No. Who's my guy
Orcutt.
there?
Tell.
Orcutt's good. Tell's good. No.
I know who you're talking about.
KB. KB on Bell. That dude.
Tell.
KT?
KT.
Okay. Anyways, I want to see him throw a dunk down tonight. I think that would be sweet.
I got to see him throw a dunk down
Where?
at Dunkirk.
The last time you were there?
Yeah, when they played Falconer.
Ah, I missed that one. All right, good.
Beat him.
I want to see him throw a dunk down
Beat him
tonight.
twice.
I think that
beat
would
him
bring
2
the
out of
house
3 times they played this year. Dunkirk did.
down.
It's just okay.
What games are you doing next week as part of? Did we establish what games you're going to do?
I sent you a list of games, and you sent back, we're good for Canisius at St. Joe's.
Yeah, that's
So
Friday
it looks
night.
like I'd be doing that
Okay.
Friday night special.
Yeah, I know we want to try to get to Salmaker Tuesday, but that's going to be a tough one. I haven't heard back from a couple of guys down there yet to say they can do it or not. So I'll find out tonight
Okay.
for you. We owe Salmaker another broadcast.
I send you a list of where I'm going,
yeah.
and I'm willing to broadcast whatever you want or not. I can go and do some posts on X. I can broadcast. I just want to go to the game I want to go to.
Where are you going to be Monday?
Where did I tell you Monday? Let me see what I sent you.
I think
It
it
was
involved
a good text, wasn't it, that I sent? 'Cause
Hamburg?
I put a little color on every matchup that I was showing you. Oh, that's why I can't find it.
Was it? It wasn't Hamburg, was it? Yeah, I know you're trying to get to Hamburg. That might have been Thursday.
Oh, duh. Monday night. Lockport is at Orchard Park.
Yeah, that's the one.
Hello.
Yeah.
That could be a Class AA1 preview. Final
That-
preview. Yeah.
Tell me who was in the stands Saturday night. To your left, did you see a coach from Orchard Park come in?
Chris Frankowski, every year,
He was there.
comes and supports us every year.
I think he had a shirt that said, "Why aren't we in the tournament? Why aren't we in the Classic?" I think that's what his shirt said.
I probably should.
How many coaches contacted you after the Classic saying, "Why are we in next year?" I would say 4.
No one has really gotten on me yet that they want to be in.
Really?
I mean, it'll happen. It's everyone's they're in the thick of it right now. Everyone's in the woods of the season as they start to think about next year and they start to get out of the mode of where they are and start to look for games. That's when I start hearing, "Hey, we're looking any chance we'd love to be
Okay.
in it, but let us know." I mean, like I said, teams start moving really quick on scheduling now, and it all starts moving fast.
Either way, it's Time and Canisius for you tonight.
Yes.
After seeing Time and Joe's, what is your take? Canisius lost last time they two teams played. Why don't we get a quick preview of that before we take a break?
Well, I've dubbed the first game the the Massacre on Delaware.
Okay. Which it was.
24-point loss. Worst home loss for Canisius since 2017. I don't think it's going to be a 24-point game tonight. That would surprise me, but I won't be surprised if Timon sweeps the series. They're at home. They play really well against Canisius. It would be an interesting thing if Canisius got swept, ultimately falling to the 3rd seed, which would, I don't know. I mean, you still got to see how the Joe's Canisius game. I don't want to say where the seeds bear out, but getting swept by Timon would be an interesting thing because I think ultimately there's a semifinal coming up in the playoffs that's either going to be Canisius playing Timon or Canisius playing Joe's or Joe's playing Timon. Like one of those, one out of the three is going to have to play each other for the right to get to the Manhattan Cup. And they all three of them got to want to avoid that game.
Okay. Like where you're going with that, why don't we take another break, come back with 5 questions for Center Court, and maybe get into some trouble. We'll be back. Thank you for watching
trouble.
Western New York High School. Or what are we talking about? Center Court. Yeah, Center Court Weekly.
Need an electrician? Empire Electric is your residential wiring specialist. New builds, service upgrades, lighting, generators, you name it, Empire does it with hundreds of 5-star reviews that speak for themselves. Call Empire Electric today for your free estimate.
Education has power. Binghamton University students discover it, apply it, unleash it. Unleash your education today.
Just results.
Your life can change in an instant after an injury. You need a trusted partner at your side. Hi, I'm Dan Chacha. At Dan Chacha Injury Attorneys, we're here to help you navigate the challenges you'll face. Our dedicated team fights tirelessly for your rights, ensuring you get the compensation you deserve. Don't worry, Chacha's got you. Call Dan Chacha Injury Attorneys today for a free consultation. Your injury is our priority.
Call 648-3030. Just results.
Western New York Immediate Care. Since 2005, our hometown urgent care walk-in clinics have been committed to providing the highest quality urgent care for the Western New York community, with 4 convenient locations in Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, and Orchard Park. We are open every day, including holidays. Walk-ins welcome or reserve a time. We have on-site labs and x-rays, and you'll always see an in-person provider. Visit wnyImmediatecare.com.
Hello, we're back. Frank's texting.
Yeah, I like to do that every now and again.
Yep, I don't.
I practice safe text.
I'm not a big fan of text messaging. I call people a lot. I always picture them groaning on the other end of the phone as they see my name light up like, I'm working, I'm teaching, I'm an AD. Why do you call me all the time during the middle of the day? Because I'm wanting to talk.
By the way,
I'm on the road.
I apologize. Tony Pulverani wanted to be on today's show, and he was. Something came up, he couldn't make it. So
Yeah, you know what happened? Someone needed their electrical fixed.
well, it is Super Bowl weekend. You got to have the electric on if you're going to watch the game. What's your take on the game real quick before we get back into basketball? Actually, wait, no, don't answer that. It's part of your 5 questions.
Love it.
So we'll talk about that in a second. Let's do 5 questions with Chad, unless there's something else, high school basketball. What's going on with this Emerson team, culinary? I had someone tell me that they're pretty good. They're 10-5 right now.
Yeah, they beat East in a real close game. Either at the end, I think it was the end of last week. Maybe it was earlier this week. I don't know. So the artist formerly known as Emerson, now Buffalo Culinary. They're the Heat.
Bringing the heat.
They're coach is Randy Rakowski, who does not ever like to send me emails with any information, so
Randy,
I stopped asking.
Get on the ball here.
Yeah. I mean, everybody. You do good by promoting your kids, by
Yes.
putting your scores up, by putting your statistics in the site, by
Maybe he has a flip
getting
phone.
a Twitter account, by responding to emails. That helps with people's coverage, and the more you get rejected, the more you say, I guess they don't want me. That's fine. I can't talk about everybody. But they got a kid named Jameer Robinson who's having a great season.
Okay. Is he a senior? He's a senior, isn't he?
I believe he is.
Okay. Well, when I was looking at where they were in the A2, I believe,
Yes.
they're right there with Ken West, Grand Island, and if you were asking me, they're right there. I mean, they might have similar records.
Are they
they're
A1
right,
or
They're right
A2?
there. They're in one of the A's.
I'm looking at it right now.
If I could read this freaking thing I printed up earlier,
I'll tell you right where they are because I have
tell you where they are.
classifications on my own site, and
can't read this
makes
shit.
it very easy to find when I have them on my own site.
By the way,
Great little resource, everybody. The view from CenterCourt.com. Don't know if you ever check it out.
I'm checking it out right now. That's where I got your standings from, and I also
Right up top on my website, underneath the two top banners,
Yeah.
there are a whole bunch of words. Those words say the
Word salad.
schedule, postseason brackets, all CenterCourt team, blah, blah, blah. They're active links. They take you to good stuff. I don't know if everyone knows they exist. Like there's one that says classifications. You tap on that, there's all your classifications laid out. Now, not that you really need that because the Section 6 site also has everything broken down into classifications quite well for us. But if you're preferring an alternate method of viewing, I got you.
I can't
Buffalo
remember.
Culinary, are they a double A? They are.
The hell?
Double A2. So they're in a bracket with
There
Health
they are.
Sciences, Williamsville East, Hamburg, Ken West, Star Point, Sweet Home, NT. So I would say Buffalo Culinary looks like they might be in line to win Yale Cup 3. And I would think that that is their peak success this season.
That's their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just went and watched East yesterday, and they're not the same talent bed that they were when they won a Class D state championship in 2018, or when they were up in a Starling Bryant, my favorite coach ever.
Yeah.
He's still there, and he's still doing his thing for him. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
But if Buffalo Culinary is having a dogfight with East, I don't see where Buffalo Culinary is making any noise in Double A2. So, hey, Heat, prove me wrong.
I hope they do.
Yeah, there's just some good teams. That's
Yeah.
a competitive bracket. I mean, if North Tonawanda and Star Point and Sweet Home are in that bracket, and they wouldn't necessarily be the favorites, they're all capable. You got Health Sciences, Williamsville East, Hamburg, Ken West, Star Point, Sweet Home, NT. Yeah, that's a competitive bracket.
A lot of work to be done there.
Yes.
Okay.
Good teams that have played pretty decent competition throughout the year. So I don't know if you looked at Culinary's schedule, their non-league games, everything that they've played this year, and you compared it that way compared to the other teams, you probably say, okay, I see.
Thoughts on Lackawanna?
Thoughts on Lackawanna? I saw them once this year. They were a physical team. They looked like, when I saw them in December, a team that would be really good at football, and they were really good at football. I thought the best athlete on the floor for them was their Trench Trophy winner, Sammy. Looking at their results, it seems like they're a team that is rapidly improving as the season's gone on. So I don't think that I watched Lackawanna at their best. I think they've continued to improve. I really like Marcus Rivers. I think he's a good guy. I think he cares a lot about his alma mater, Lackawanna. He's the head coach of football and basketball. That in and of itself is a massive commitment for a guy to make. So clearly he cares a lot about those kids. He coaches them hard. They respect him. They just played a really close game with Cheektowaga, and that tells me Lackawanna is now firing on all cylinders, and watch out for them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for answering that. That was a question from last week and now this week. So you got it.
Lackawanna is in Class A2 with Olean, Newport, Dunkirk, Buffalo Sciences. Yeah. I would say Lackawanna is a contender in A2 just like they were last year.
Very good. Okay, 5 questions for Center Court before we wrap up the show.
The quick one today. Quick and efficient. I love it.
Number 1, did you go straight home Saturday night after the Classic, or did you stop by a local establishment or 2?
I stopped by a local establishment for 2.
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a nice invite across the street, and I accepted.
Nice. If I'm keeping score, that's 1 question.
I was 2.
Actually, that could be 2 questions.
That was a long grinder day, so
That could have been
nice to before I just jump in the car and drive home, take a pause and have a couple laughs and reflect.
Yeah. All right. What was the dumbest thing said to you at the Classic? Just by out this long pause means you got to think about this because a lot of dumb things were said to you. But what was the dumbest? Like you straight up looked in the guy's face or the woman's face, trying not to laugh.
I didn't get bothered by a lot of people by design because I sit there and do PA the whole
Yeah.
time, so you can't bother me too much.
What's up with that chair you had? You brought that from home?
Yeah.
Did you see the chair?
Oh, you saw it too? Oh yeah. It's an ergonomic chair.
I mean,
I need an ergonomic chair for Buff State. No,
It is a long day for Saturday. Yeah.
listen.
You're not bringing it to Buff
It's
State,
like
though.
I'm kind of special and fancy, okay? And
Special, okay.
in my own goofy way. So, like, if I'm going away on an overnighter, or if we're, hey, we're going out here for a couple days, or when I go to Glens Falls, I'm the guy that literally moves in. All right, I'm gonna be in Glens Falls for 4 days. I get there and they're like watching me bring stuff in. How many trips is this guy making? How much stuff did this guy bring? Yeah, I move in. It's like, well, you got fans in here, slate machines. You brought a television. Is that an Xbox?
We have a television
Bring
here.
a chair from home. What in the world? How many clothes are you wearing? I'm like, listen, I'm living here. It takes you 15 minutes to set up and 15 minutes to break down on each end, and you done moved in for the week and you're wanting for nothing. So, yeah, I brought a comfortable chair to the class.
Back to the dumb question.
Who asked me a dumb question? The moment of stress that I remember feeling was when I had to take a leak right before a game, and Dean Adams was telling me there was a change in the starters, and I really want the starters to read them in an order and to be able to say he's a senior, number 11, whatever, and I don't, when you're live on a microphone, you don't like to be like, Darr. So I try and have that listed out, and it was just a matter of we got the wrong starters or they weren't reported right in the first place or something. And I'm trying to get out to take a leak because, we've got 90 seconds before I'm supposed to say hello and welcome. So I'm trying to get away, and he keeps talking to me, and I was probably short with Dean. Dean, I love you. I apologize if I was. I was just stressed, and my eyes were turning yellow. So.
All right. Did you make it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did he make it? Bet he did.
Question 3. What's your prediction for Sunday's
Will he
Super
make
Bowl?
it? Bet he did. Two famous people. Will he make it? And Betty did. Yeah. Betty. She's a good girl. All right. What was it now?
There's this game Sunday.
Yeah.
You may have a buck on it or two, but what's your prediction?
I predict that the stupid Chiefs will win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. What do I want? I want the Eagles to beat them so bad. I hope Saquon Barkley sets a Super Bowl record and runs through their face.
That'd be nice. I think the Eagles.
I'm excited to watch that game because I have accepted the Buffalo loss at this point, even though I don't like it. And I think the same thing I tell myself every time Buffalo doesn't get there. At least I can just enjoy a game without a bunch of stress tonight. And that's a really good game. It's a really good matchup. It's a pretty cool Super Bowl.
It's all about the numbers.
How about Josh Allen winning MVP?
It was amazing.
And his acceptance speech moved me.
Did it?
It really did.
From the couch to the
I
bed,
think,
couch to the chair. What?
just he's such a genuine guy, and the stuff he said about the organization, the franchise, right down to the guy up in the mailroom, that's great. That's great to hear, and I believe he means that. And then when they kept handing over to his parents, and his dad's crying, and it's just a lot of emotion there, and it's real. It's raw. He's a good guy.
Nice.
and he
I
is
think
our
they got it
MVP.
right.
Oh, damn right.
I think they got it right. Yeah.
Yes.
I think if you
I-
took
Everyone that was inhaling that smoke about Vegas and, oh, he's minus this and
as good as Lamar is, and he is good, you take Derrick Henry out of that offense and put everything on Lamar's shoulders, I don't think they have the success they have.
Josh Allen was the MVP all along.
Yeah.
I would have been
Yeah.
really surprised to see that he didn't get it. I didn't care what Vegas was saying. I didn't care that everyone wanted to show, oh, since this year, whoever the whatever it is.
Whatever. Okay. What was your take on the Lakers-Mavs trade? You give it,
Shocking.
yeah?
Shocking. I was shocked. Yeah.
Okay.
My take is I'm wondering how many titles the Lakers get out of this thing, because the West is good.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like the Lakers have this ready-made champion now that Luka showed up. They've got two of the greatest players. Probably at the end of everything, you'll have two of the top 10 players of all time in the NBA now on the same team who can still both play. But the West is tough. So it's more fascinating on that level of do the Lakers end up having to pay a max contract to keep them there at some point? How does all that go?
Yeah.
But it was a shocking trade. I don't know. Dallas, it's a tough thing for Dallas to do because their fans loved Luka,
They do.
and it's a business though.
It is. At the end of the day, it's business. Okay. Fifth question for Chad. Is there anything exciting about tomorrow?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Tomorrow I am going to enjoy a nice meal with my wife. We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to go to a place called Zambistro. It's in Medina. It's one of my favorite places to go out for dinner. We're getting the igloo experience.
Ooh. Now, do you have to bring like a electric blanket or?
I think they have heaters right in there. I haven't done it yet, but
Okay.
she went with my daughter and they raved about it and all the great food and this. So yeah.
So you will be at Zambistro's in Medina.
Yes.
Okay.
Zambistro.
Zambistro.
That's the name of the place.
All right.
Zambistro.
They're getting
There's a quality plug for Zambistro along with Curry's. If you ever get to Medina and you haven't checked it out, check out Zambistro.
wow.
Good owners.
Excellent.
Great cuisine.
Center Court Classic. You were like Jackie Moon out there.
Was I?
Yeah. You ever see Jackie? You know Jackie
No,
Moon?
I don't know Jackie Moon.
You don't know Jackie Moon? There's some facts. So basically, what? From 1975, some of the good things that happened in 1975.
This is hilarious.
Asia's first professional basketball league. The Philippine Basketball Association played its first game
Mm-hmm.
50 years ago. Let's see. Daryl Dawkins. You remember him?
Yes.
First NBA player drafted out of high school. Daryl Dawkins. Any relation to Deion?
Earl Dawkins was a rim wrecker.
No relation to Deion Dawkins, though.
I don't think so.
We'll have to check. We have to do some digging on that. NBA Finals that year, the Golden State Warriors, 4-0 over the Bullets, a sweep. Jesus.
In the Flint Tropics, I couldn't believe they lost in 5 games like that.
So you have never seen the movie Semi-Pro?
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yes.
I am bad with my. So I'll watch a movie, I'll laugh my tail off about it, and then I'm bad with all the pop cultural references afterwards, unless I watch it a few times. And
If Semi-Pro comes on, no matter the time, there's movies like this.
yes,
Certain movies pop up and you just can't stop watching. Hoosiers might be one. Semi-Pro for me, for sure. Those are two movies. Yeah, you call me Jive Turkey? What's Heidi doing? Isn't Heidi? Let's go, Heidi.
she out there knocking?
There she is. Hi, Heidi.
Heidi.
Somebody's birthday.
Oh, for crying out
Tomorrow.
loud.
Oh man, happy birthday. How old again?
42.
That's not what that says.
Holy smokes.
Chad hates this. He absolutely hates this. But
awesome.
Chad is having a
My
birthday tomorrow.
birthday's in August, and they're playing the biggest prank on everybody.
Lies. Happy birthday.
Love you, Heidi. Thank you.
We love Chad. Chad's the reason for the season. Chad's the reason why we do this show. We couldn't do it without you. I hate you. I know you hate this. And you're seething and kicking me under the table like a 2-year-old. But anyways, Chad, we wanted to wish you a happy birthday and everything you do for high school sports.
Very kind.
You're very modest. Damn.
500 people watch. This is what YouTube says, or this is what Twitter says?
Well, it's also on Fansly. Just kidding.
Twitter's lying. Nobody's watching. It's called X anyway.
WNY Athletics OnlyFans.
That would be something, huh?
We're going to end the show with that.
We've gone off the rails.
Way off the rails with that comment. Someone's going to call in a complaint. That's okay.
Yeah.
Give him Heidi's number.
I don't even know what it means, but I'm just laughing along.
You don't want to know. We won't see you next week if you did. Anyways, great job at the Center Court Classic all week long, really. The Joe's Timing game, you were phenomenal on that broadcast with Ryan. Adam Bennett wanted to call in, too, and so did Nick Bertrando to wish you a happy birthday today, but just time
They're working.
wouldn't lend itself.
They're
They're
busy people.
detention, study hall, whatever they're hammering down right now, and those students they got to teach.
Game planning.
Game planning. I'll see Bertrando later tonight. I'm sure he's going to have a few words for me. Unkind. He doesn't like me.
Bertrando doesn't like
No,
you?
not
Because you're a Dunkirk guy.
Not even.
Why wouldn't Bertrando like
More of a Silver Creek.
you? I'll ask him. I'll tell him you're not as bad as he thinks you are.
He's worse. Tim, what are you doing tonight?
Would you fight
You doing a
Bertrando?
game? No,
Me either.
absolutely not. Yeah, Timmy's producing a girls' game tonight. Clarence and Frontier out at Frontier. You know what? You're going to pass Minneos South. Technically, you could. If you cut down, you can get a buck off your pizza. Out the door. Matt Franco, Minneos.
Yeah.
Give him a buck off.
2 weeks before tomorrow, you turned a certain age, and it was your birthday. And
38.
Happy birthday to you. 38. See, I'm 4 years older than Frank. So happy birthday to him. I missed Ryan Mountain's birthday on a broadcast earlier this year when we were live. Never even remembered. I'm a terrible birthday guy, probably because I, try and hide from my own. So
We'll surprise him down the road.
yeah,
Ryan, we'll get him something.
we will.
We'll get someone to jump out of a birthday cake for him.
I like it.
Dean.
Dean.
Adams.
Joe Kraus.
Nelson.
Nelson.
Where was Nelson this week? Besides the Center Court Classic.
Center Court Classic. I sent
And
you
he-
a nice picture of him. He usually had his hood up.
I loved it.
Must have been cold in there.
I loved it.
Oh, look at this. Look who we got. We put him on speaker for a moment.
Go for it.
You're on speakerphone and the speaker's up to a microphone. How can I help you?
On behalf of the CCAA Division I and boys basketball coaches across Western New York, I just wanted to call and say happy birthday.
Well, thank you. It's not my birthday today, but I appreciate you.
I
Adam.
know.
Now, if
I've
Bertrand.
been watching. And
Oh.
just wanted to shout you guys out for the great job that you do.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Now,
I
if-
think you're a great coach, and you do a great job with your program.
Now, if Bertrando was listening, he would call too.
Yes.
Or any other coach.
Yeah, Nick's busier than me. He's probably watching film right now.
Yeah.
But
It's all
I make a
good.
point to watch every week. So
He's watching semi-pro.
say hello.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. You know that.
All right, have a good show.
All right.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Adam's a good dude. You know what? I was
Good dudes in the
so
high
you know
school
they were in the
basketball community.
state championships for football. No, I think it was the week before. Yeah, the Western semis, I think they call it, or something like that. Wherever we were, down in Binghamton, maybe.
Yes, that's where you were.
I go into a random Target because I needed another layer. It was freaking freezing out
Wow,
there.
it looks so cold.
Were you there?
No, I was watching at home, though. I
Oh.
was watching the games. It looks
Freaking
so
freezing.
cold. There's nothing that looks colder than Maine Endwell.
Where were we for Western semis this year?
Wasn't it Maine Endwell?
Yeah.
No, Maine
I don't
Endwell
think
was in
we weren't streaming it, but we were there after Brockport. Where was it the week after?
the state semis.
They wouldn't let us stream it. They had
It
the
was in
other
Binghamton-ish.
crappy streamers do it. Vestal.
Vestal, that's
You
where
weren't there?
it was. It was Vestal,
Oh,
I
you
recall.
were back
from
here
the
doing it with
broadcast.
that guy.
Vestal.
So they were in Vestal. I go into a Target early in the morning, and who comes walking out with the Starbucks coffee? Adam Bennett.
Adam Bennett's a Starbucks guy, huh?
Is.
Fancy.
So now when it's his birthday, you know what to get him.
Little Starbucks GC.
A little gift card for Starbucks. Yeah. So anyways, that's our show in a nutshell. Are we gonna have some of this cake? Or are you gonna you want to take it home? You could take it home, or you could take it to Timon tonight and share some with, Coach Rowe.
It can be whatever you want. I got a big meal at Curry's coming up here when I
Yeah.
walk out of this.
Okay.
establishment.
Did the lady spell center court right on your cake? Because I had to show it to her a few different times, and she kept asking me questions on how to
Yes,
spell it.
because she got it right because it's all one word. So many people want to put a space in between center and court. You've got your own brand for years, and people will still say center space court.
Yeah.
I don't do a space.
I thought that cake was more aligned for like an after funeral service. Look at it. It's just, it doesn't scream happy birthday to me. No.
Perfect.
To me, it looks like something you would eat after a. Yeah? Okay. Maybe it's. Okay. Yeah. The cake's dying a slow death.
You guys got to give Heidi a break.
Honestly, it's not a real.
Staves over
It's not even a real cake.
a hot kitchen baking us a cake.
It was my cake from 2 weeks ago. It's bullshit. It's not a cake. Stick your face in there.
Pretty cakey to me.
Does it taste 2 weeks old? Nice.
Frank is great. He gave me chocolate cake. Thanks, man.
That's the Center Court Weekly, which we'll be back next week, either Thursday or Friday. Haven't figured it out yet, but we'll be back next week. You'll have plenty of notice.
Oh, it's going to be Friday. We're going to figure it out because we've got a guest coming in next Friday.
You?
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
Sure. I think so. And
They have a
if he
security
doesn't
clearance?
come, then he shouldn't have said yes, he would come in.
Do they have a security clearance?
Do they have security clearance for here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a high-tech place in here. We got a lot of expensive stuff.
We'll
Have his
canvass.
people
We'll
contact Tim's
canvass.
people.
Yeah. So it's a coach. It's a Monsignor Martin coach who has a big rivalry game coming up next Friday, and he's agreed to come in
It's a
that
coach,
afternoon.
not Monix. The Tropics coach, Monix.
Yeah.
A Monsignor Martin coach who has a big game coming up. Okay, next Friday.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and wishing Chad a happy birthday. He turns 50 tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day you want to flood his Twitter feed with happy birthdays. He won't mind one bit.
You won't see him. Little fun fact before we go, I don't even have my notifications on for that. So I would have to open up the app and look and then see.
You don't.
them all.
What? You turn.
Like I used to have notifications on, and I would drive home from games, and my phone would go bing, bing, bing all night. And what's a human tendency when your phone goes bing? You want to look at the phone.
Yeah.
And I decided, you can't be a hypocrite. You
Yeah.
you preach to your children, check the phone at the door when you drive and be safe. It's your life. So as soon as I realized I was being a hypocrite, off went the notifications, and it's life-changing anyway. I can turn on Twitter and see what's been said, or X. I don't have to live vicariously through every like, every retweet, every, someone added me. What? I'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, left going. Good. All right. Wise words from this 49.99-year-old Chad Andrews. 50 trips around the sun. Good for you, buddy. Congratulations.
You've already been there.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, no.
You're going to wake up tomorrow with needing a hip replacement.
Your mind thinks better the older you get. You start to count your blessings and appreciate life and people ahead of you and the ones before you and understand them better. That's the best part of aging, for sure.
I tuned out about 30 seconds ago. What was that? I have severe ADHD, but you knew that. Center Court Weekly Edition, show number 6 is wrapping up. Chad, any final thoughts before we go?
We have, let's see, today is Friday. I think after this week, there are 2 weeks left of regular season. So the time is now to get out and watch these games. The time now, kids, is to lock in and get ready for the postseason that's coming. A month from tomorrow is Championship Saturday at Buff State. The Manhattan Cup is already in the books by then. So it's about to become a real whirlwind in Western New York high school basketball. And God willing, I am in it to win it. From now until the next month and a little beyond until all that smoke clears at Binghamton. Let's go.
He's dusting off that Buff State windbreaker as we speak. That'll do it for another edition of Center Court Weekly. Tim Gardner with the excellent job producing. Heidi Gunther dancing the cake in for you. Did a great job. And I'm going to miss you. I won't see you until sometime next week, maybe even next Friday. Unless you're at a local game Wednesday. Wednesday night, I might be able to get out to a local gym. Tuesday, I can't.
You can call me anytime because
Okay.
you know I do. I call you in the middle of the day and bother you a lot.
Thank you.
don't miss me too long. You could FaceTime me if you really need to. I'm
Mike-
available.
I might call that restaurant tomorrow night to interrupt your dinner.
Okay.
What time's your reservation?
6.
Which means it's at like 4. Oh, you are going to start getting that early bird, Mister. Now that you're up there, you're not a senior citizen yet, though.
No.
When do we get
Not
those
even
things?
close.
Tim, do you know? 55.
55.
Sweet, dude. 55. Yeah.
That's when
we get
55?
Do we get any freebies with that?
It was Cornelius Bennett's first number.
All right, folks. Thanks.
I mean,
We're really wrapping.
We're down
up.
to we're down to 80 watchers, aren't we?
The more I try to wrap this show up, more people come in. Like we're up to 555, 555.
No.
Yeah, it's up to 550.
It's a wrap.
It is a wrap. We're closing up. I'll see you people.
Thanks
down
to
in Dock Creek
everybody.
tonight.
Thanks to all the basketball fans that make the world go round, and the coaches and players. You're the best.
Arrivederci.